This freaking balloon.
This is my newest wheel, the Mercedes AMG F1 Petronas Sim Racing Wheel by...
Yo, what's up guys? In this short, I'm going to be telling you how you can still play Rec Room after the shutdown. So first you want to go into your, what is it called? Your
This flavor and heat can only make...
And breathing out for me.
Hi there everybody, my name is Ecstasy and today I'm ARG. It's just a little thing, okay?
Last video, I asked you guys what I should do to Verity, and you guys enjoyed that so much that I decided to make a part 2, so I got even more of your guys' ideas to ask Verity.
Your fat ass can't walk 3 blocks to
I walked into a red phone booth without noticing
The Logitech G920 is the most hated, popular, and affordable racing sim that you can buy. But why is this? Where did they go wrong? And is it even worth picking up in 2026? For some important context, this sim setup was released all the way back in 2015, making it over 10 years old, being one of the first dual motor force feedback rigs that worked on both console, PC, and being fully compatible with almost every game. And it was designed as an entry-level beginner option to help people get started. But why is it so hated? If you take a look at the past 3 years, the sim racing community has exploded in popularity, which naturally caused companies to create their own product. This brought a lot of competition and raised the standard in terms of quality, force feedback, and realism. As a result, many of the flaws of the G920 were brought to light. The brake pedal felt awkward, the torque was far from consistent, and because it never received an internal upgrade, it fell behind. I'm not saying that you still can't have a
This is just a regular Energizer lithium battery, and what's inside of it honestly kind of scares me. Just for fun though, I'm gonna open it up, and I've already made a little cut in the outer shell. Opening batteries like this is dangerous, and it's almost always a huge pain, but I was eventually able to pop off its shell. Now I can unroll its insides and reveal the thing that scares me. It honestly doesn't look like much, but it's a bunch of lithium metal, and it's extremely reactive. The metal itself technically isn't what scares me though, and it's what can happen if it's added to water. Normally, it just fizzles a bunch, and maybe lights on fire. In this foil form from the battery though, it can sometimes be a bit more reactive. I personally had to discover this the hard way, and I'm very lucky it all turned out okay.
Mercury forms alloys with most metals in a process known as amalgamation. Last week, I messed around and tested it out with some gold leaf, and it was pretty cool. This time though, I'm gonna see what happens when I add it to aluminum. It's supposed to be quite destructive, which is why you're not allowed bringing mercury on a plane. So, I went to Home Depot, and I bought a strip of aluminum. I cut out a small section and drilled a hole about halfway through. This little crater is important because mercury is super annoying, and without it, it would just slide off the plate. Under normal conditions, aluminum is surrounded by a protective oxide layer. Metallic mercury isn't able to penetrate through this barrier, so it kind of does nothing. Sometimes, it's possible to get things going by manually scratching away the oxide layer. I tried doing this about 2 or 3 times, but it wasn't working for me. I even tried to brute force things using a drill, but that didn't get things going either. I thought that maybe it was just super slow to get started, so I went to lunch and I left it for about an hour. When I came back, nothing had changed, so clearly I have to use a different strategy. Instead of trying to remove the oxide layer mechanically, I'm gonna try to do it chemically. So I took out all the mercury and I added some dilute hydrochloric acid. The hydrochloric acid quickly reacts with the oxide layer and dissolves it away. This exposes fresh aluminum metal, which also reacts with the acid. I let it go for about a minute, and then I get rid of the acid. With the acid gone, we'll start to reform the oxide layer, so it's important to add the mercury quickly. The amalgamation started almost right away, but it's really hard to see. In the reflection, you can see me lean over to get a better look, and I noticed some very small hairs forming between the aluminum and the mercury. In real time, this process is really slow, so I set things up for a time lapse. So the major thing going on here is the combination of the mercury with the aluminum to form the amalgam. Some of the amalgam that forms gets dissolved in the mercury and makes its way to the top. When it gets there, it comes in contact with oxygen in the air, and it reacts to form white aluminum oxide. This part of the process is pretty short-lived though, because it quickly gets covered and protected by the oxide. This prevents fibers from growing directly from the mercury, but obviously they continue going out from the sides. This happens because some of the mercury is dissolving into the aluminum.